25.
Ito na ang pagkakataon mong ipamalas ang natatangi mong galing sa pagkanta at pagsayaw. Kaya if you have what it takes to become the Tagisa ng Galing Part 2 Grand Winner, ipadala na ang inyong audition videos. Kung ikaw ay 18 to 65 years old, may angking galing sa pagsayaw at pagkanta. Ipadala na ang inyong audition videos sa tagisananggaling@gmail.com or contact Nikki sa 0977-651-9504 para sa singing category. Shing sa 0995-880-8004 at Nini Bell sa 0995-330-4653 para naman sa dancing category. Narito naman ang guidelines sa paggawa ng inyong audition videos. You can also follow and like our Facebook page at Tagisa ng Galing at Net25 for more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Tagisa ng Galing at Net25. Kaya ano pang hinihintay nyo? Sali na! Ipakita ang inyong galing, manalo ng 2 million pesos at maging bahagi ng pinakamalaki at pinakamalawak na talent competition on Philippine TV and online. Tagisa ng Galing Part 2!
Open for Business is back, and with me is the Regional Director of DTI Region 2, Ms. Leia Pulido Ocampo. How are you, Ardilea?
I'm good, Cesar, and thank you for having me here, finally.
Yes. Ardilea, there's a lot of talk about how the regions are trying to be sustainable, especially now during the pandemic. And we are actually forced, the regions are forced to be sustainable and to do their own initiatives to help the industry, the agricultural industry, the MSMEs. So far, before we go into the details about the how you are helping MSMEs in the region, can you cite, Ardilea, how significant is the region's contribution in the Philippine economic development?
Wow, what a question, Cesar, no? Basically, our region is an agricultural region, no? And we are the supplier of rice, corn, and vegetables and fruits. No? In fact, we are #1 in the production of corn in the entire Philippines, and we are #2 in rice production. No? And we're also a very significant player as far as fruits and vegetables is concerned. In fact, we supply the entire Metro Manila, no? And also the neighboring provinces, no? With fruits and vegetables. So basically, we are a supplier of raw materials or mga fresh produce coming from our farms or in the region.
Mm-hmm. Ardilea, with the pandemic, we know that it has dramatically changed how we do things, di ba? Mm-hmm. In your case, no one really expected, and it's good that you are very near NCR, di ba? Hindi katulad din nung iba na talagang you have to really go through a lot of, especially the ones who were affected by travel restrictions. How did the region, Ardilea, initially responded with all the restrictions, quarantine, especially during the announcement of the ECQs. And later on, I'm sure, I don't know what your classification now is, but what were the major adjustments that the region initiated to address, some of the concerns of various industries?
Yeah. Cesar, in the beginning, it was really difficult, no, because we have all of these farmers wasting their products, because we have been unable to move the products from the Nueva Vizcaya Agricultural Trading Center. We have that trading center wherein traders from all over, from Metro Manila specifically, would come and source their commodities or the commodities that they sell to Metro Manila. But during the lockdown, there was difficulty, of course, in mobility of the traders coming from Metro Manila. So what we did was to come up with a program which we call the Walang Sayang Project. Yung Walang Sayang Project, meaning the objective really was to lessen the wastage of these commodities. So we helped them. We assigned a consolidator. We partnered with a private sector. We assigned a consolidator. And then we also mobilized our network in Manila. Network in the sense that we have all of these food processors, the food service sectors, the ones who are into catering, into restaurants and hotels, and also mga retailers, the chain of retailers. So we mobilized all of them, and then we helped move all of these products from Region 2 to connect to all of these institutional buyers. Of course, we had to coordinate or to collaborate with the Department of Agriculture. They were very kind to give us or to provide us with logistics, meaning they provided us with transportation, and also because they were in charge of issuing food passes, etc. So it was our travels from the region to Manila had been easy. So that was how we did it. And another thing is that we also partnered with an online marketing platform, Cesar. And this has been going on for some time already. And this marketing platform has been able to help us naman reach out to the consumers or to the households naman. Kung yung isang program, it is for the institutional buyers, the ones that are buying in bulk. This one naman is meant for the consumers naman, or for the households. So it's really a good partnership in the sense that we've been continuously supplying our commodities or our fruits and vegetables to this online platform. I don't know if I can mention the name, Cesar. Am I allowed?
Go ahead.
Yeah. The name of our partner is Mayani.ph. This is basically a social enterprise, and it is an online platform that helps really, ang kanilang mission is to help the farmers. And the good thing about this, Cesar, is that we are the only region na partner nila, because they believe talaga on the capability of the region as a supplier of commodities to Metro Manila. So we have a memorandum of agreement with them, and they are now our online platform, so to speak, in Metro Manila. So it's easy for us to sell our produce even with the lockdowns.
Ardelia, maganda yung konsepto ng walang sayang. And I think that is also based on my interviews with other thought leaders and others in the industry. Marami nga yung wastage, marami yung oversupply, wala silang napagbebentahan ng kanilang mga produkto. Meron din nga kaming nababalitaan yung sa Baguio, ang daming nasirang mga strawberries. So, the thing, Ms. Leia, is this also an institutional initiative wherein um, some of the regions may probably come up with their own initiatives, unique ones that has to be implemented because, of course, the experience of the farmers differ naman and vary from region to region. Is this something that is unique only to Region 2, and are you also allowed to come up with out-of-the-box initiatives to address the needs of both, as you said, the suppliers and also the consumers, customers in the region?
Yeah, I would like to think that this particular program, the Walang Sayang project, is unique to the region. First of all, as I said, we have this role in the value chain wherein we are basically the suppliers of fresh produce. So this was our way of continuing our role, no? Because of course, kung hindi kami kikilos, hindi nakakain or wala nang magkakaroon ng shortage ng mga pagkain sa Metro Manila, no? And also, yun na nga, we wanted to help our farmers nga. Since during that time talagang bumper harvest, no? And we were really caught unaware. We were caught unprepared, and so we didn't know that this pandemic and that there's going to be a lockdown and all that. So it was really a knee-jerk reaction on our part. No? We just wanted really to push all of this, all of these commodities to continue to be supplied to our traditional markets.
Ardilea, I know personally of your experience in governance and in your private sector experience. You had a wealth of knowledge and experience in national issues, especially in the trade and industry business. Ano po ba yung nakita ninyo na malaking pagkakaiba on the national level, on the TTI issues, now that you went into the region? Kasi siyempre sa region, masyado ng hands-on yun. It's so, I think, you may have to really be involved in micromanagement. And I also follow you on social media. You are really in small ways in talking about issues, in letting like say for example helping the farmers, and also in market linkage, market promotion. We both worked for a foundation before, and that was already your advocacy, diba? Yeah. Pero ngayon ang tanong ko, ano yung I'm sure there was a big difference or a shift, from national to the regional. Can you tell us your journey, how you are doing this, Ms. Leia?
Yeah. Basically, Cesar, my training really, especially when I was with CITEM, is to promote, no? And this is already at the end of the entire process, no? So, ngayon, but when I was with CITEM, since we were into promotion and we also had a lot of exposures in attending international trade fairs, so we know more or less what the world is looking for, no? In terms of standards, in terms of quality, in terms of quantity, etc. So these are the information, or these are the data, or information that I had, no, that helped me a lot when I became regional director. Why? Because now I'm trying to connect. No, I'm trying to connect what I've learned in CITEM or what I've learned in the global scene with what we are now in the region. No? And I've seen that there's a lot to catch up on. There is a big gap, no, between what the world needs and what the regions are capable of producing or supplying. No? So that's the challenge now for me as RD. No? Of course, I will have to go back to basics. No? As I've said, we in the region are basically a raw material supplier. But I really would like us to go a higher level, no, a higher a higher level in the value chain, so that we just don't have to be a raw material supplier, but we will also be processors in the long run. No? So I'd like to bring the region to that level. However, yun na nga, we have a lot of things to catch up on, as I said, no? The quality of the products that are being done, the packaging, the branding, and even, when I came in, let's just say, for example, yung food processing sector nila dito sa region, no? So, there's very few entrepreneurs who are into food processing, no? And even if there are a few of them, they're also not so particular about certifications, no? Which are very important in order for you to expand your market, not only locally but also, of course, globally, no? So that's what we're trying to do now. We have this food development program. We have initiated that. In order for more companies, more food processors in the region to be FDA certified. No? This is a very basic requirement. FDA certification, this is yung license to operate at saka yung certificate of product registration. No? These are just very, very basic requirements in order for us to be able to compete. No? And also, if you want to go mainstream talaga, we want to enhance or expand our markets, then we have to be certified, no? But of course, if we want to go further, no, there's a lot more things to be done. If we want to export, for instance, food, FDA, LTO, and CPR will not be enough, no? So I know all of these things already from my experience inside them. So it is basically these are my guidelines or guidance, no? The experiences and my exposure are serving as my guidance in crafting the roadmap for our industries here in the region.
Speaking of international trade, Ardilea, sa nakita mo ba doon sa products and produce, so anything that is manufactured by Region 2, what is it in terms of maybe craftsmanship, product quality, that you think will make it big in the international market? Kahit nga siguro sa domestic market muna di ba? Kasi kumbaga, di ba, alam naman natin dito sa Pilipinas, kahit pa paano, andun pa rin yung tendency of being regional, like say, uy, galing to sa Region 2, galing to sa Cebu, or galing sa Davao. You know, sometimes each region, has this quality energy to boast yung their own produce. What is it in Region 2 that you think will be a key factor in promoting and addressing the needs of the market?
That's a very difficult question. No? First of all, I think we need to identify where we are strong at, our strengths, knowing where we have competitive advantage. As I said, we are very, very strong in rice, corn, and pineapple, banana, mango, as well as root crops. No? These are basically the things that I really would like to develop into processing, into processed form. No? So that's for the food sector. No? For the gifts and housewares and the furniture sector naman, itong house mga home decors, etc. We also have that industry, no? And what we would like to do really is to still make use of what we have. No? Like for instance, we are #1 in corn production. But what do we do with the waste material of corn? We actually turn them into gift items. We turn them into twines. No, we first turn them into twines, and yung corn husk niya, we turn them into twines, and then we weave them into either bags or mats or whatever else. No, so I think this is one area where we can actually have a comparative advantage because we have a lot of raw materials lying around. No, since we have a big production of corn. And another area where probably we can also look into is we have a lot of ITs actually, Cesar. You know? I think we are one among a few regions where there is a lot. We have a lot of ITs, and that means that we have a lot of indigenous crafts or indigenous skills, no? Weaving skills, whether it be weaving skills or also wood carving skills, and probably even clay, you know, yung molding of clay, etc. So I'd like to capitalize on all of these traditional crafts and traditional skills of our IPs, so that we will have naman a distinctive character. Because right now, the first question that I asked is that when you talk of region 2, for example, hand-woven textile or handicrafts, when you talk of region 2 hand-woven textiles or handicrafts, do you immediately recognize them? I mean, from among an array, for example, of products, no? Do you instantly recognize them that it comes from region 2? Of course, the answer is no, no? So that's the reason why.
Hindi siya katulad ng parang sa Davao or Mindanao.
Hindi katulad ng Cordillera, immediately you're able to identify, or the crafts from Mindanao, you immediately are able to identify, di ba? But when you talk of region 2, what is it? What is distinctive to the region? So that question alone really made us all think, no, na maybe, yun na nga, we haven't really made an effort to brand our products as region 2 brand, no? And we were not able to parang put in the character of the region, and that's very important. We have to carry the character of the region, and what is it, no? We have to find out what that is, and then yun na nga, what we did really was to embark on a culture and tradition-oriented product development last year, no? Ito lang si COVID kasi talagang parang it's told everything that we needed to do, no? But there was a scoping already of what are the patterns, what are the colors, the textures, the materials that are available in the entire region. We wanted to come up with that particular brand, no? That particular distinctive region 2 character. So we already have that, no? We have that together with a world-renowned product specialist whom I have worked with in SITEM, no? Si PJ Arañador, no? And he helped us do the scoping, and he's been able to identify what are the common patterns, what are the common colors, textures, materials, and the skills, no, that we will need to tap in order for us to come up with a regional brand.
Wow, yeah. I hope it's good that we really focus on this, because tama ka eh, parang it all starts with good branding, especially if you offer it not only in other parts of the Philippines but in the world. Now, Ardilea, let's also focus on, as you mentioned, diba, nung nag-COVID, wala, na-disrupt na lahat. Kumbaga lahat ng mga plano natin, everything, was on standstill. Gaano, and how can you assess, or what are the other needs of the region in terms of addressing COVID naman? I know that, like with the local government units, the focus now is on vaccination. So how is the COVID situation in Region 2? Is this contained? Are all the protocols being practiced to make sure that COVID cases will go down? Eventually, we go back to normal. Although there is no normal already, di ba? Lahat nangyayari ngayon, ito na yun. This is the new normal. So can you give us some updates on the COVID situation in Region 2?
Well, it's not a rosy picture in the region, Cesar. No, I think we are number 4 in terms of COVID cases, number 4 in the entire country. In fact, right now, we have here in my reference material, we have 16,154 cases already, in the entire region, and so we it's been affecting basically the bigger areas, especially the cities, no, Situguegarao, Santiago, and Ilagan City. So these are the growth centers of the region, and so that's why it's getting there's a little difficulty in containing the virus because of first of all these are cities and most of the a lot of people converge here. And in fact, here in Tuguegarao, this is where the regional center is located, no? Meaning all of the government offices are here, located here. And of course, there's a lot of establishments and companies that are also located here. So that's also, and also mga schools, no? So that's the difficulty in curbing the spread of the virus.
But in this case, Ms. Leia, I know that a lot of the health protocols are also implemented. Yun bang sa DTI ba? Is it also in the region? Do you also mirror the directives from main DTI where the same health protocols are implemented, or are you also free, to come up with other solutions that you think will be, best suited to the communities there?
Basically, we are guided by the issuances from the head office, no? Like for instance, when we talk about the health protocols that have to be implemented in establishments or in private establishments, we have this DTI DOLE joint memorandum circular, which guides us, no, in monitoring and in enforcing health protocols sa mga establishments. So very, very clear naman yung mga guidelines doon that there has to be, of course, the basic protocols like wearing a face mask, etc., etc. No? So what we actually have this consumer protection division in all of the regions. There are consumer protection divisions and also in the provinces, Cesar, no? But kahit mga 2-3 lang ang tao dyan sa mga divisions na yan, we've been able really to do a lot of legwork, no, in monitoring and in controlling, in making sure that all of these health protocols are being followed by the establishments. It's a lot of work, and it's also very risky for us, no? But this is one mandate or one role that we have to play in DTI, and we are guided by all of these rules and the mga memorandum circulars coming from the head office, etc. On what are the basic protocols that need to be implemented or enforced.
Mm-hmm. I asked that, Ardilea, because one of the challenges also of MSMEs, lalo na mga hindi exposed doon sa virtual and digital space, is digital transformation nga. Diba? Kumbaga yung iba nung unang panahon, pinag-uusapan pa, not necessarily nung unang panahon, nung 2019, di ba? Nung 2019, it was expos, exhibitions, trade fairs were the in thing. You have to be in those areas for you to promote your products. But then, with COVID now, everything's done online. So, the people in the region, are they also, in your case, I know that Region 2 is just, very close to NCR, and I'm sure there is a good internet penetration there, or probably good mobile penetration there. But how is Region 2 handling digital transformation. I remember in 2019, pinag-usapan din yung 4IR, di ba? Yung Fourth Industrial Revolution, AI, bots, di ba? Mga ganyan. What's this? Yung artificial intelligence. Sabi nga nila, ang key driver ngayon ng Industry 4.0 ay COVID din. hindi CEOs, hindi yung pera, hindi yung investment ng malalaking bansa, COVID. So, can you describe the readiness of MSMEs in terms of embracing the digital space?
I agree with you, Cesar. No, it was really COVID which forced us to embrace digitalization. Whereas before, it was very difficult for us to convince our clients or our MSMEs to go digital, to go into e-commerce, etc. Suddenly, here comes COVID, and they have to do it. They have to be online, otherwise their businesses will die. No, so it is really something. COVID, this is the most positive thing that ever came up out of COVID, no? That people are now talagang forced to become digital, or they are forced to go into e-commerce. So what we're doing is just simply to enable them, no, to handhold them as to how they can participate in e-commerce. So we do a lot of trainings and webinars, no, on how to onboard them in online platforms, and also tawag dyan yung cashless payments, no. Actually, when you talk of digitalization, it's not really all about they have to be in an online platform, etc. But it's just parang there are different stages kasi, no. Even if you have only Facebook, or you have Messenger lang, or you have Instagram, or emails, etc. as your way of promoting your products, you're already digitalized in a way.
That's right.
And the next step, of course, is when you are already online, like you are with Shopee, or with Lazada, or Zalora, etc. Then those a little bit more sophisticated online presence na. But of course, the third would be yung digitalization already of all your processes, no? Like you are digitalized in terms of managing your personnel, your accounting programs, etc. are all digital, and your production processes are also digital. That's the most sophisticated already. No? You are, especially when you're talking of Industry 4.0, where robotics na yan, wala nang masyadong tao, but robots na yung magpo-produce, etc. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, fintech, etc. Those are the highest na, no? So in the region, we're still in the mga basic, like we encourage them to go into Facebook, to Messenger, and then we onboard them into cashless payments, no? Yung mga GCash, yung Paymaya, tapos mga bank-to-bank transactions, etc. So would you believe that before nga kasi many MSMEs here in the region don't even have their own bank accounts, no? So we had to, okay, so you have to have a bank account in order for you to be able to in order for you to be able to actively engage or participate in the e-commerce platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Now, Ardelea, with that insight on digitalization, you mentioned, I agree that you don't have to, in terms of being digitalized, there are steps and basic ones that you have to do. There is also an advantage in the sense that yung mga, di ba sabi nga nila, with the online and e-commerce business, medyo democratized na rin. So anybody, lalo na doon sa mga naapektuhan ng pandemya, dati, yung mga may produce, may post lang nila sa social media, and they can sell already their stuff. They can earn bucks already, sometimes dollars. Is this also an opportunity for the region to promote e-commerce? Kasi I think based on the data that you have also, medyo tumataas din yung like say for example the business name registration pa lang para big sabihin somehow legitimate yung registration nila with the DTI. Is this also something that you think is an advantage that trade and industry, because of the online processes that have been developed, mas nakakatulong ba ito sa DTI na everything, all the process will, eventually go online?
Yes, oo. Well, it should start from our own processes, no, as a service provider, no. Like for instance, we have already digitalized our business name registration, and then also digitalized our loan processing. A lot of things are being digitalized already, so that parang it's part of the ease on doing business, no? And that basically also have encouraged more entrepreneurs to go into business, because it's easier for them now to register their ideas or their business ideas, no? In fact, Cesar, while it's true that there's a lot of companies that have partially closed down during the pandemic, it is interesting to note that our business name registration has increased by 43%. Mm-hmm. And what does this mean? No? It just means to say that probably those entrepreneurs who have seen that they needed to retool, or they needed to redesign their operations, or they needed to have a new business model. And what they did was just probably close shop, no? The old setup, and they just came up with a new business model. And that was probably the reason why we see an increase in the online registrations.
Now, Ardilea, one of the objectives of Open for Business is to talk about these issues of MSMEs and provide solutions from experts, CEOs, and thought leaders. Ngayon, Ms. Leah, can you cite some of the challenges that are experienced by MSMEs in the region? And sa palagay po ninyo, ano ang mga pwedeng solutions na pwedeng maitulong ng private sector para naman, not only kasi ngayon, medyo kapag, especially the established, large corporations, because they have the resources and the people, to go online, they can survive. But what about MSMEs? What about, the farmers who don't have the means? Maybe this is a good opportunity, Ardilea, for you to discuss some of the issues experienced by farmers, MSMEs in your region, and what support do you think are needed from both the private and government sector?
Mm-hmm. Okay. First of all, the challenges. No, as we know, the region has been over the last 2 years. We have had series of calamities that befell us. No, like for instance, we had this big flooding, massive flooding. We are also being attacked right now with ASF, yung African swine fever. And then of course, ngayon yung pandemic naman. So there's a lot, all of these things put together, created a lot of challenges for our MSMEs. But I would like to point out 4 major challenges that we have seen, as indicated in the surveys that we have been doing in DTI. And these are, number 1, the lack of market, or accessibility of markets. Number 2 is the accessibility of technology, And number 3 would be the accessibility also of financing. And number 4 is the inavailability of basic infrastructure, like for instance, connectivity, is a very important concern. and also yung power supply as well as yung road network, no? Road network and the presence of efficient transportation network. So these are the things, the major concerns or major challenges that our entrepreneurs are facing every day. No? So DTI naman has always been in partnership with the private sector in operationalizing our programs. No? Like for instance, as you were mentioning about the big companies, and the big companies are actually our big brothers and also our inspiration in inspiring and in mobilizing when we train our MSMEs to become more entrepreneurial, no? So, like for instance, I'd like to cite, for example, a program that we have, yung Kapatid Mentor Me. This is actually a partnership with these big names in the entrepreneurial scene, no? It is being done together with the Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship, no? And this center is actually led by mga big names in the industry, no? Like yung mga mga Concepcion, etc. Sila Joey Concepcion. And what we do is really to partner them, no? Partner our MSMEs with these mga big names, and they become our mentors so that they inspire, they teach our MSMEs in many areas, in accounting, in HR management, in product development, in marketing, etc. So it's a whole gamut approach, for business management. At on the part naman of our MSMEs, aside from them having to learn from all of these mentors, talaga namang successful na, they become inspired and they aspire also to become like their mentors, no? So it has been a very successful program in a way. And another thing also, another partnership that we have with the private, actually lahat ng programs namin in DTI, Cesar, are all in partnership and in collaboration with the private sector. Because we really believe that the government should be an enabler, no? Enabler lang tayo, no? And we are the steerer rather than the rower, so to speak, no? So parang the programs would be more successful talaga if we give the private sector ownership and responsibility and accountability towards moving that particular program of government. So yeah, I could cite a lot, but baka kulang na yung ating oras, Cesar.
Thank you very much, Ardilea. Now, I think we're running out of time, but I think I have to ask this like I asked the other guests. In this time of the pandemic, what is your biggest learning? We know that the pandemic was really the time for us to reflect and see, what's important for us. Aside from that, aside from your learning, what's your message to MSMEs, especially in the region, as you are in the process, as you said, to really defining, what that brand of Region 2 is, to be able to better compete in the market?
This COVID pandemic really has taught us a lot of lessons. As I said a while ago, we were really caught unprepared. Both government and private sector were caught unprepared. And this is naman not unique to the Philippines, but also elsewhere. But really, the main lesson that we have seen here as government, especially in DTI, is that we were probably relaxed in implementing a program for resiliency. It's been there for quite some time. We have been talking about resiliency for quite some time, a business continuity program especially during pandemics or during calamities or disasters. No? But we haven't really took it seriously, that seriously, until this COVID pandemic came upon us. No? So ngayon, I think really we have to take this now very, very seriously so that we are able to immediately react to or immediately refocus our businesses towards a more responsive business in times of disruptions such as this. No? So halimbawa, like for instance, no, I could cite some best practices we have done immediately after the pandemic. We have been able to repurpose some of our manufacturers, especially the ones that are into textile manufacturing and garment manufacturing. Could you imagine that somebody who is into hand-woven textiles would be able to survive in a pandemic like COVID? Of course, talagang it's unimaginable, no? But we have been able to encourage them to repurpose. And this hand-woven textile producer was turned into a producer of fashionable masks, no? Hand-woven masks. So even during the pandemic, this producer has been able to survive, no? Akala niya akala niya mabubulok na yung kanyang mga hand-woven textiles andun lang because these are actually they're not essentials, definitely, no? So but then she was able to turn it into essentials. So that particular experience, Cesar, no, the repurposing, we call it repurposing, and it is not actually unique to Region 2, of course. No, it's happening all over the Philippines, and in fact, we have yung mga talagang big garment factories that we have turned into big manufacturers right now of face masks and mga PPEs. So that's how basically what I think we should do, no? And these are lessons that probably we can replicate in the coming days when there's again the challenges or disruptions that is as big as the COVID.
Ang sabi nga nila, Ardilea, di ba, pag Pinoy, di ba, napaka-resilient natin. Kaya nga, kasi kinakabahan tayo doon sa variant ng, Philippine variant ng COVID. Kasi kapag Filipino daw, baka-resilient yung virus. Joking aside, but I think I agree. The Filipino has and will always be very resilient. Now, for my final question, Ardilea, what's your outlook on Region 2's trade development? Do you think there are a lot of there's a lot of uncertainty pa with the many variants of COVID that's coming, with yung private sector naman sinasabi open na economy, some are still pushing, for people to stay home. We see a lot of, diba, we go back to the very first time where this was declared na ano unahin mo? Is it your economy or the health of your people? So we always go back there. So in your case, I know that there's a lot of preparations as a regional director, but what is your outlook? Do you think this will continue? And if ever, what are the scenarios that you see so that you are still prepared as a region?
Definitely, Cesar, no, there's no definite scenario that I'm looking at as far as COVID is concerned, because we have been in a vicious cycle so far, no? Cases would go down and then it will go up again, and so we do ECQ again, we do lockdowns, and then we do the escalation, etc. It's been a vicious cycle. So I always wonder what is going to happen to us, no, if we were to be doing things like this over and over again. No? So, but then, the bright spot actually in this pandemic has always been agriculture, Cesar. No? And we are lucky, probably, in that. I always say that we are lucky in the region because we are basically an agricultural region. So talagang we have not been critically affected. No? In fact, even up to now, we have been able to register 94% employment rate. So that's a big accomplishment. And as we all know, agriculture has been the only sector that has registered positive growth, no, amidst the pandemic. So, and in the region alone, we have noted the increase in production of pineapple, banana, and mango, as well as agriculture. And so this is a very good indication that we're still fighting, and we're still moving on, no, as a region. So that's basically what makes me very optimistic still, no, even if we say that the horizon is not too clear, since food is a basic necessity and it's categorized as essential, no. So talagang there's a rainbow ahead, no. I see a rainbow ahead, no, for as far as Region 2 is concerned. And we've also been partnering a lot with the local government units. So, I would like to mention also a pioneering advocacy that we have here in the region, the issuance of buy local ordinances in many of our municipalities in the region. This actually has helped a lot in creating business talaga in the region, because nga many of our local government units now are into the practice of sourcing their relief goods or relief kits from their own suppliers or from their own MSMEs. So talagang umiikot yung pera actually within the region. So these are things that make me smile pa rin, Cesar, despite the gloomy days ahead that is being presented by the COVID situation.
And I think, Ardilea, that's the best way to end this conversation. That's really something inspiring. And thank you very much for granting us this interview on regional development and entrepreneurship. That's Ms. Leah Ocampo, the Regional Director of DTI Region 2, Open for Business. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Salmon!
Tago ka muna. Diyan ka lang, ah.
Ano na nga pala nangyari dun sa lalaking hindi kilala ang sarili niya?
Si Romeo, ho?
Inaalala na ba siya?
Ito, papuntang Talipapa. Nandyan yung barberia ni Bruno.
May ganon pala dito?
Hindi ka na, umuwi na tayo.
Pero magpapagupit pa ako.
Romeo, hindi ka pwede magpagupit!
Bakit?
Oo nga, Maya. Bakit hindi pwede?
Kasi
Kailangan niya itago ang mukha niya sa malagong buhok niya. Kaano-ano mo nga pala siya?
higit pa sa kaibigan.
Will you wear my ring?
Kumanta, sumaya tayong lahat. Saya-saya.
Broadcast journalist Wayne De La Fuente returns on Philippine television and radio to deliver top stories and engage with the country's policymakers, shapers, and movers. Tatalakayin ang mga pangunahing balita alas 7 ng umaga mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes live sa teleradyo ng Net25 at Radyo Aguila DCEC 1062. Kasama si Wayne De La Fuente sa Balitalakayan.
Thank you for watching Open for Business. Join us again in the next episodes of Open for Business for more insights from CEOs, thought leaders, industry experts, and SMEs promoting business development in the Philippines. See you again every Saturday and Sunday here in Open for Business, where we discuss business information, deliver the latest business news to keep you informed and open for business and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. You're on Facebook Live on Eagle News and at Net25 TV, and you can watch this again in the video section of the Eagle News and Net25 Facebook pages and on eaglenewslive.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Net25 TV. Thank you again for watching. For Open for Business, this is Cesar Vallejos. We live in interesting times.